Hey y'all, I'm AV from AV Does What and University of Dope. I'm definitely amazing. Are you?
What's up, everybody? It is your man, Random Man. It's definitely amazing. It's DA Ladies Sip and Conversations. I have the pleasure of having the dynamo of DIY, the amazing AV.
Woo! Thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming because I feel like this is round two.
Round two.
Last time we were eating cereal and eating ice cream and it was all a blast.
That was really delicious.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. And we were at, and I happened to pick you on, I happened to have you on a show the day the store was the busiest. So that was,
it was fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I use interesting, you use fun.
Yeah, you know, it's all about adventure.
All right,
right? Yeah.
So we're drinking Snoop's Rosé, 19 Crimes Rosé. I'm just gonna tell you guys ahead of time, just, you know, little tidbit. This stuff's good.
I haven't tried it, so I am excited. I love rosé and I love Snoop, so this is gonna be.
We're gonna try to make it through the show, people. That's what we're gonna try to do. So I'm just run down some of the stuff you do, because I could run down all the stuff, but then that'd be the whole show.
Yeah.
Because you do a lot. You are a now renowned DIY crafter extraordinaire.
Yes.
You've been on everything, HGTV. You just were on Drew Barrymore's show.
Yes, that was really,
Let's give her a round of applause, guys. Drew Barrymore's show.
Yes,
yeah. And you make things look better. Like there was something you did recently. You took this thing and it was just a regular, like almost tray. And then you put like a clear thing on it. I don't know crafting. And then you put glitter, and then there was some other stuff, and next thing you know, it's something you can put on a table. If I did that, it would be finger paint.
You know, I believe crafting is so broad. One, that was resin. So,
resin.
So that's step one. But crafting is so broad that I think everyone can find the craft that resonates with them and that they can be good at. You know, I meet so many people, they're like, oh, I can't craft, I'm not creative. And it's like, I bet you are. You just have to find your, you know, you have to find the one.
Yeah.
Like in life.
You gotta find the one, like in life. Then, besides all of that, every now and then you take some furniture that you find.
Yes.
And you make it from whack to back in black.
I was like, what's going rhyme with whack? I was waiting for it, but that was good.
So, and you make stuff look great. I mean, on the Drew Barrymore show, you helped that lady's dresser area, drawer area, turn into something she can use for her dogs, or was it?
It was cats.
Cats.
She was married previously. She's in a new marriage now, but she just had I guess she inherited this big furniture piece, but she wanted to kind of give it the razzle dazzle because she's in a new life.
Yeah.
Right? And I was able to help her with that, just to add, a little bit of pow to it.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of pow, before I go on and say all the other things that she does, pow, hit that like button. Pow, hit the subscribe bell so you don't miss any notifications.
Ding, ding, ding.
Or you should have did that.
Yeah.
And then, last but not least of all the great things you do, you are the co-creator of now a world-renowned card game that is not just any card game.
It's not.
It is the ode to hip-hop. I call it hip-hop's odyssey.
Yes, it's like Hercules in them, right?
Right.
Mythology, yes.
Yeah. The University of Dope.
Yes.
Which basically, for all intents and purposes, is the best thing I've seen for hip hop since the thing that you just went to, which was the groundbreaking
Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Yes. But yes, tell us a little more about University of Dope.
Well, University of Dope, it is the first card game dedicated to hip hop culture, but it's not trivia based. Usually people get scared sometimes, like, oh, I'm not that much of a hip hop head or whatever.
Right.
No, it is majority rules. So, if we're playing and you get voted out, that's just what it is, And we also have pop quiz questions, so that changes up the flow of the game. So it can say something like, person to your left, do their best DMX impersonation. May he rest in peace.
Okay.
You know?
Yes.
Some of the majority rules questions can say something like, one gotta go, Noriega, Fabulous, Game, or Childish Gambino, or something like that. Yeah.
We all know, anybody that knows Random Man knows who I would already pick in that.
Yes.
But before we get into all that good stuff, because we're going to be playing your game, we're going to be doing Definitely Amazing or Not. We're going to be sipping on this lovely thing. In fact, Logic, I'm going to pass this bottle off to Logic on the side of me.
Yes.
Logic's going to open up the bottle because...
You can also play the game as a drinking game. So when you can play it for points, you know, if you want to just, you know, keep it for points. If you're in the majority, you get 5 points. First person to 50, like 50 Cent wins the game. But people mostly play it as a drinking game. So whoever's in the minority would have to take a sip, a shot, whatever the card tells you.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So your handle on almost everything you got is at AV does what?
Yes, because AV does a lot.
Because AV does a lot.
Yes.
And since AV does a lot, oh, you know what? I love when stuff gets set up perfectly because that's exactly how this question is set up. Since AV does a lot, what's something you are really good at that next to nobody knows?
Next to no one? I almost feel like I'm like an open book, but not, right? I don't necessarily think I'm really good at it, but it's something I do love. Karaoke. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I love kayaking too, but I feel like everyone knows that if you follow me on social.
Right.
But yeah, so it's like kayaking and karaoke. But karaoke, I love to perform karaoke. But I can't sing. But I'll give you a performance, so that's why I'm good at karaoke, not singing.
It's so funny you say that because I love karaoke, but I also, a couple of years back, did hip-hop karaoke.
At Brooklyn Bowl?
At Brooklyn Bowl.
I did that before too.
It's actually the hardest thing in the world because it has no
lyrics.
No lyrics.
You're literally, it's like the Apollo.
And it was dope because I actually was able to showcase the ability of knowing all the lyrics to Ain't My Type of Hype.
Nice.
which shout outs to Wave for hating the fact that I know T. Cole's whole little rap.
Nice.
I love it. It's amazing.
So I did that a couple of years ago, and I went by myself. Like I'm very social, but I can be a loner too. Like I'm one of those people. I can go anywhere like by myself because I meet new people.
Right.
So this is what happened. I went to Brooklyn Bowl and I did that, and I performed the song like on my own. I forgot what song I performed on my own, and then somebody performed the song, like some guy, and I was like, oh, it's so like cool. Like you did such a great job. So I was like, we should like collaborate. So we collaborated and we did You're All I Need, Meth and Mary. But I was Meth and he was Mary. Yeah.
Ah! Look at that. I'm wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
I love it.
So it all ties in together. So,
I love it.
And then we won like drink tickets and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was great.
Drink tickets at Brooklyn Bowl. It's amazing.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. So I'm like a karaoke champion.
Yeah, and that Blue Ribbon Chicken is amazing at Brooklyn Bowl. And Brooklyn Bowl's not sponsoring us.
They're not. They should.
So we're just saying this. But yeah, they should. So, University of Dope.
Yes.
No pun. Dope questions. Tell me what you think about that wine.
It's good.
Yeah, see,
it's good.
See, I feel like this is.
Is it one? Okay, it's not that dry. It's pretty sweet.
Right.
Yeah. But it's not like Moscato sweet.
No.
So yeah.
No. And I feel like for some strange reason, I just feel like he made this so that you can finish the bottle within one setting. And I'm so upset at you about that, Snoop.
I mean, I feel like since the pandemic, I feel like wine bottles are just made for one sitting, right?
Like,
but you know, and I'm like, no shade against myself, right?
Right.
But it's like that because, you know, the shape of the bottle makes it seem larger than it is.
Right.
But I think the same amount of fluid in a wine bottle is the same amount in like a can, like a Limerita can.
Right.
And people just drink, you know, you drink a Limerita, but I haven't had Limeritas in like years because I think they put drugs in it, but neither here nor there.
Right.
But, you know,
it's why this is called Sipping Conversations, people.
Yeah, but it's the same amount of like milliliters. Check that out, guys. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the same amount.
Tell us in the
Comments.
in the comments below.
But you don't share a lime marita can, right? But you share wine.
I hope people are not sharing lime maritas.
Yeah, because it's weird, right? But you would share
you share wine. Yeah,
it's the science, guys. Got the
it's the science.
Which is third eye. Open your third eye.
Yeah, when you start drinking this, you will open your third eye. So one of the things I love about University of Dope is that your questions are always like either triggering or creates friendship amongst people. But what was the hardest part when you were creating the questions? I know that must have been like the most difficult part of the whole thing.
Well, since we've been around for this year will be 5 years actually. So making sure like there's questions. We always like when we are doing like a new order, we always try to make any like tweaks because nothing is perfect, right? And then there's some artists that were in our original deck way back in the day, and they unfortunately didn't have as much like staying power, right? And they had to been like removed from the deck. So there's people that we've removed from the deck, people that we add to the deck, and then we made like hard lines to make sure, hey, whoever's in the deck, they've already cemented like their star power, so we don't have to make unnecessary edits. You know what I mean? Right. So yeah, I think that's like the hardest part. Also, we have an algorithm where there's only
I just learned about this.
Yeah, there's only so many times an artist can be added. So sometimes when people are playing, they're like, oh, you know who'd be great for this? It'll be like Biggie. And it's like, actually, we can't put Biggie in here 16 times because that doesn't work. Even though he's my favorite, we just can't do that.
Right.
So and then that also keeps us, like the team, because the team has grown over the years. It's 5 of us. And some of us, we have our favorite artists. Like our event coordinator, she loves Usher. And we are, our R&B deck is coming out. Right. And she wants to put Usher on all the cards. And we have to literally like, no, the algorithm says we can't, if we move this, you know, no. So it's, but with the algorithm, we can be like, hey, it's rules. Right.
So, you know, look, I love YouTube. This is on YouTube. Sometimes I give YouTube a lot of slack about algorithms, but as we see, sometimes algorithms aren't good.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're great.
It regulates things. It regulates the system.
Yeah.
Or rigs it, depending on who you're asking.
Oh yeah. Or rigs it. Or rigs it. Okay. This one, I don't know if you'll be able to answer it.
The answer is C.
The answer is always C.
Yep. Just like in school.
Yeah. What's your most unpopular opinion from the game? Something people say and you're like, nah.
We get a lot of unpopular opinions. I mean, that is our tagline, and sometimes people have unpopular opinions that they believe are like unique. It's rare I hear ones that are like completely out of the box, but we hear like Biggie's overrated, Tupac's overrated, things like that. Jay-Z is whack. You know, the people like to, you know.
Right. And then I mean, you have like the times where you have the celebrities doing things, and their ideas and their answers are always very measured.
Yeah, measured, of course.
Measured.
And then, but the good thing, sometimes they have like stories, like anecdotes that to go with it. You know, everyone, it's kind of like a drink champs type of vibe sometimes as well. Right.
Seem to have some great moments because you just ran into LL.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. I mean,
you're like a magnet for this stuff. I'm about to start hanging out with you.
The razzle and the dazzle.
The razzle and the dazzle.
I do. Yeah, I went to the groundbreaking for the Universal Hip Hop Museum. It's being built up in the Bronx, and I'm from the Bronx, BX baby. Okay. And it's an awesome thing that's coming to the borough, to the world. You know, I believe construction will be completed in 2023 or 2022, something like 2023. And I've been able to see like some like blueprints of it, like 3D models, and it's like, this is gonna be like a really great thing. Yeah. But they were, for the groundbreaking, there, LL was there, Nas was there, Slick Rick, Grandmaster Flash, and like a ton of other people who have added tremendously to the culture. Right. And the cool thing about with L was that University of Dope is already on his platform. It's on rockthebells.com. So, you know, it's all this energy all coming together.
Yeah. It's such a cool picture with L too.
Yeah. It just makes me like sad, and you know, RIP to DMX again, because like 4321 is one of my favorite songs. And 3 out of the 4 people on the song know University of Dope exists. Like Meth has played,
Right.
Red has played, L,
Right.
is selling it.
Right.
And D hasn't been able to, won't be able to.
Yeah, and everyone loved something different about DMX.
Yeah, I think everyone loves certain different things of DMX, and then I believe that's how it is with all of hip hop. Right? Because as we are all aging, the older millennials, I see you guys out there, we are starting to sound like maybe our parents or older uncles and aunts, and very much like get off my lawn type when it comes to the newer generation of music.
I can't wait to have a lawn to do that.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
But people have that vibe towards the newer artists, and for me, I don't think it's necessary, even though, like I love a good 1998 track, right? Just like everybody else who thinks 1998 was the best year of hip hop, but the genre is still young, right? So
compare it to any other genre, you're absolutely right.
So it has to have room to grow. It has to have room to have splinter cells of it, Like there is Metallica, but then there's also Blink-182. So when things grow, it's going to have different little pockets, and that's the same thing that's happening with hip hop.
I think the great thing about hip hop in general is that hip hop, as much as we, as you said, us millennials can gripe about, the littles and the as much as we can gripe about that, we can also somehow find common unity in some of those artists. Because for instance, J. Cole having I think it was Little Baby on his mixtape, on his album, beautiful verse. I was like, whoa, I don't like Little Baby. Why do I like this verse? Because I like the verse. So I think if we just take the time to not be that, that guy, because we used to say that about our parents when they first heard hip hop at all, and they were like. And
the thing is, bridging the gap is so important because within the culture, because there's so many artists from the true school and golden era that are, even though they're in different eras, they're similar ages, right? And then you have there's kids who call J. Cole throwback, what I mean? Old school, they call him uncle, stuff so it's really important to make those connections because we think it all stopped with J. Cole and Drake and Kendrick and that era of people.
Speaking of, I think it's time for a game. I think it's time for DA's Definitely Amazing or Definitely Not Amazing.
All right.
Definitely not amazing. Now, how definitely amazing or definitely not amazing works, you're a very smart individual, so I don't have to say much, but is this definitely amazing or is it definitely not amazing?
Okay.
Now, my only rule is that if it is definitely not amazing, if you feel like it's definitely not amazing, I need an explanation.
If it's definitely not.
If it's definitely not amazing.
So
if you think it's definitely amazing, you can choose whether or not to give it. Yes,
okay.
Yes. Because usually I'll just say, if it's definitely amazing, then hey. All right. First up, since you mentioned J. Cole, J. Cole's Middle Child song. Definitely amazing, definitely not amazing.
Definitely amazing.
I think so too. It's one of my favorite joints of his. I have a lot of favorite J. Cole joints. Right. Okay, all right. Verses.
Definitely amazing. The production.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely
amazing. You love verses?
Yeah.
It's hit or miss for me.
Yeah, I think verses as a cultural phenomena is definitely amazing. There could be individual verses where you're like, hey, I'm good off of that, or this was better than this one. I particularly loved Beanie Man and Bounty Killer's verses. I am of Caribbean descent. Big up to Jamaica. Blah, blah. I also liked T-Pain and Lil Jon's. That was one of my favorites. So yeah, some of them are hit or miss, but as a cultural phenomena being born out of the need of something in the pandemic, yeah, definitely amazing.
All right. Love and hip hop.
Definitely not amazing.
Definitely not amazing. Why is it definitely not amazing?
I don't watch reality TV.
Okay.
So, you know, it can be definitely amazing for other people. I know
Right.
sometimes it
Right.
could be escapism
Right.
for others. I used to watch them all, but then I used to hate watch them. So I actually stopped watching reality TV before Love and Hip Hop came out.
Okay.
So I don't know enough about Love and Hip Hop to know if it's like the show itself is amazing. I have no idea.
But while we're doing that, let's break out the University of Dope. We're gonna play some University of Dope right now, everybody.
All right. So you gotta fill up your cup.
Yes.
Fill
Let's
up.
Logic. Fill up the cups. Logic's the sommelier.
Also, little fun Logic fact. AV actually put me in my first commercial.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
He was in the first like.
That's right. That's right. I
run
did see Logic in there. I was like,
and
oh.
he did best DJ. We were at a game night, and that's actually where we met. And he did do your best DJ Khaled impersonation, and it was so good.
Do it.
It was so good
Do it.
that we had to put it in.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
No.
Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
Got shot on the TV set.
Why?
I'm just saying.
Why? Why does this happen? All right.
Y'all know what it is.
All right.
And we the best.
All right. We the best. Well, everybody knows I love DJ Khaled because we are birthday buddies. Yeah,
Nice.
November 26th.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, so you gotta tell me how we gonna rock this out.
All right. So I mean, it's minimum 3 people. So Logic has some choice questions here. If he would like to flip some over or not.
Right.
All right.
Yes,
So
please.
I got a couple of questions here, and I'm going to read them.
Okay.
You have your choice cards, A, B, C, or D.
Okay. Right.
You vote for whatever you're voting for. You put it face down. Then we flip it over, and whoever is in the majority wins that round.
All right. I'm
Sounds
with it.
great. If you
I'm
lose,
with
you
it.
got to take a sip.
I'm with it.
All right. Let me.
I'm all for taking a sip.
Yes.
I'm doing 2 shows today, everybody. I'm gonna be drunk.
Pow, pow, pow. We're gonna start it easy. You know, smooth.
Ah.
If someone wanted to experience hip hop for the first time, what album would you give them? A, Low in Theory by A Tribe Called Quest. B, Into the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers, the Wu-Tang Clan. C, Straight Outta Compton, NWA. Or D, Paid in Full, Eric B. and Rakim. All right, so if you hip hop, first time you want them to experience it, Low in Theory, Into the Wu-Tang, Straight Outta Compton, Paid in Full. All right, Logic, you're gonna put your card, you put your card down?
Put the card down, Logic.
All right, I am going to, now all of our cards are down. I'm gonna flip it over. Da-da-da-da-da-da. All right,
Oh.
it's a stalemate.
It's a stalemate.
It's a stalemate. Logic chose the Low in Theory.
Okay.
I chose Into the Wu-Tang. And Rand chose Paid in Full.
Because I love Rakim.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
All right.
So-
That's cool. All right.
There's that.
All right. Stalemate. Okay.
Stalemate.
All right.
So usually when there's a stalemate,
What would you have chose, Wave, if you were in that?
all right. All right, so he broke the tie.
I would've won.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway. All right. Next question.
Next question. Who is winning in a jailhouse brawl? Yeah, some of our
Okay.
cards can be a little
Okay.
controversial.
All right.
A, DeBrat. B, Remy Ma. C, Young M.A. Or D, Foxy Brown. Who is winning in a jailhouse brawl?
I think this is the
Yeah.
step to the winner. But
Okay.
All right.
it's
All right.
3,
2, 1. Yes.
Hey.
Young M.A. All right. Come on, man.
So Logic chose Remy Ma, which is a crowd favorite. A lot of people do tend to choose Remy Ma. Rand and I chose Young M.A.
Just because she went to jail don't mean that she would win in a jailhouse, bro.
I choose Young M.A. because she's the youngest of the group, and you know, even though you may feel the bravado behind you, you may not be able to. I'm not sure. And we've really looked this up because okay, Remy Ma is the tallest, right? She's
Okay.
the tallest, And she does, we checked like her wingspan, like it was like a real fight. We checked all of those things.
Oh, okay. What I'm gonna do before we go to the next question, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You are a fan of Wu-Tang Clan. That is the thing that we definitely have in common.
Yes.
Even though you have more Wu-Tang shirts than I have, 'cause I don't have any.
Because we make shirts, that's why.
Right. I just feel like, I feel like that's because you have them, that's why.
Yeah.
You're a fan of Wu-Tang Clan. If you were to create an all-female Wu-Tang Clan group, do you think it would work? Do you think
Okay, I thought you were asking who was gonna be.
Nah.
I was like, whoa.
That's a little different.
That's intense. Like that's like SAT questions.
We'll save that for a bonus.
Yeah. Like I have to like phone a friend. Man, would that work Okay, so you're saying this like in terms of like established rappers. So you were talking about like a super group.
I'm saying like if it either a super group or
a homegrown group.
Yeah, a homegrown group.
I think a homegrown group can work because, you know, I think we've seen different eras in hip hop, especially with women in hip hop. In the 90s, there were more collaborations, there were different sounds and styles. Then we kind of went through like the Queen Bee era, like, and then literally like, and when I say Queen Bee, I'm meaning more so like there was only like one R&B person, Beyonce, like one rapper, Nicki Minaj, and they did a good, and they're still going strong, but it's been like a good 15-year run of just the only one, right? Like Highlander. For those of you who are of age, there can only be one.
And my fans should get the Highlander reference.
For the younger generation of hip hop, because there's so many more female rappers and they're out here really doing it. So, and we're seeing more collaboration. So I do think a super group can definitely happen.
Okay.
Thanks.
So far.
This is so funny. I picked this not knowing your shirt, but it's best thug love collaboration. A, Always on Time, Ja Rule featuring Ashanti. B, You're All I Need, Method Man featuring Mary J. Blige. C, Dilemma, Nelly featuring Kelly Rowland. Or D, Best of Me remix, Maya featuring Jay-Z.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. It got harder for me.
Yeah.
Thought it was gonna be easy, but
no. Logic, you over here thinking about.
Need you not to.
Thinking about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We all picked B.
We all picked B. All right, yes. I mean, I am wearing the shirt. So we can make love, we can make war, make babies.
All right.
Back when I was nothing, you made a brother feel like he was something.
That's how with you to this day, boo, no fun.
Pop quiz.
Name a rapper or rap group for each letter of your first name. If you fail, take a shot. I'm gonna go with myself first.
Okay.
A.
It's too easy.
Yeah. AZ. And V. Vanilla Ice.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm just gonna do Rand, not Random Man. It would go on forever. Rakim. Akeem Ali. And Noriega.
All right.
Logic.
Logic. OPO.
Okay.
G-Dep.
Okay.
IQ.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have to take that shot.
Take that shot, Logic. Go get your cup and take that shot off camera. So what we're gonna do?
And it's Logic with a K, right?
Yeah.
So, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, you could have. Yeah. You had some things. I thought you were gonna say corrupt. I'm gonna give two more questions for our show. Then we're gonna end it with the most important question of the show. From Sylvia Robinson to Queen Latifah's Unity, Salt and Pepper's What a Man, MC Light's Light as a Rock. Women have been the backbone of hip-hop history. Without women, hip-hop wouldn't be what it is today. Is there any woman that you think is underappreciated in hip-hop?
It's going to sound cliche, but I do not think Little Kim is appreciated. You know, I think in terms of like an artist, like, you know, people mention Kim, like she's popular, but the disrespect, right? Like, I just feel like it's so, like, for what she's done, and because of things, you know, things that happen in her personal life, people try to take that and overshadow, you know, what she's contributed, and it's like, no, I don't. Many times I don't even think hip hop deserves Kim. So
Okay.
yeah,
I can dig that. I can dig that. In fact, I think what we're gonna do is we are going to go to the most important question, but we're gonna do one more.
I was gonna say this is the last question.
One,
and
then we're gonna go to the most important question. All right, everybody.
This is a doozy. This is a doozy. So I told you it was going. We were gonna, you know, start slow and get crazy. Erase one person from hip hop history.
Oh.
You know what time it is. So this is like, this artist was never born. All right?
Wow. Okay.
A, Nas. B, the Notorious B.I.G. C, Tupac. Or D, Jay-Z.
What?
I know. And remember, unpopular opinions welcome.
Oh. How are you already ready?
Because that list is.
Yes. And as they're deliberating, what I love about it is that the answers change depending on who you're playing with. So, you know, I'm a woman, these are two men, the answers may be different when you're playing. If you're playing with people who are from the West Coast, if you're playing people from DC, it all changes. So it's almost like a strategy game.
Yeah.
If you're trying to win, sometimes you're just like, hey, my opinion, I said what I said, you know? Depends on what kind of energy you want.
All right, before we lift these up, bonus question. If you had to redesign the dressing room of any hip hop person, who would you choose and why?
Redesign? I mean,
yeah, like if they're like,
because I would have to know what it looked like to begin with, right? To redesign.
But think about like the
I guess their personality.
Yeah.
Who I would love to, I guess, design their. I think Megan has a really cool aesthetic, right? Because it's really, it's giving me like wrestling vibes too sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it's also like a little bit of anime, a little bit of, you know, the South, a little bit of Thug Misses. So it's a, you know.
I think you can make it. I think you can make that a hit. I think you can make that a hit.
Like I would design it like Shawn, like Shawn Michaels. Like.
Oh, okay.
So it would be like.
Let's flip these cards over.
Yes.
I like that answer though.
Yeah.
Wow, Meg. Yeah, I love Meg. All right, 1, 2, 3. You guys would get rid of Jay-Z?
So,
and I would get rid of Nas.
Yes.
Wow.
So you have to take the sip.
I'm gonna finish this whole glass. While I do that, it's time for the most important question of this lovely show, Sipping Conversations AV.
Yes.
You get a chance to go back in time, and you get a chance to speak to young AV. You get to pick the age. What would you say to young AV and why? And I really spilled rosé on this shirt.
What would I say to young AV?
What advice would you give young AV?
Advice? You know, I would give, I think like preteen AV, the advice, you already knew what you wanted to do, right? And you did it. So I would tell young AV, like, hey, if you have any doubts, don't worry, like, because you're gonna prove everyone right, because you did already.
I like
so it's just kind of like, hey, stay the course in case if I went back in time and really like ruined things because it's you know, butterfly effect.
Right.
I would go back and say, hey,
stay the course.
Just stay the course. So if you feel like there's gonna be any doubts or anything, just do everything that you were gonna do anyway.
I love it
because it works out.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I would just tell preteen random man, yeah, save those cereal boxes because you're not gonna pay $50 for that TMNT cereal box. You're not doing it. All right, everybody. It's your man, Random Man. This has been another edition of Sipping Conversations, the second episode. I feel like this was a great episode.
I think so too. My opinion is highly biased.
I agree. AV, tell everybody where they can find you
They can find me. I am AV Does What, AVDOESWHAT on all social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, your mom's house, everywhere, you know, all of the platforms. You can find University of Dope, Instagram and Facebook, University of Dope. You can also purchase our game at universityofdope.com. If you love DIY, make sure you check out my blog as well, avdoeswhat.com.
Yeah, and if you want to see her clip of her on Drew Barrymore, you can just check that out on YouTube. It's very easy to find.
Yeah, and on Instagram. It's on Instagram.
Yeah,
so yeah, I made it easy for you guys. So just go to the Instagram, and it's in my IGTV.
Yes, and if you want to know what resin is, because I didn't know what it was, AV's the person to do that with.
Yes.
It's your man, Random Man, and we are sipping. Grab you a cup, and we're out.